Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel for new subscribers and for returning subbies. This is just a quick video on car vertical, but I'm going to make it practical. So I'm going to do an example for a car that's going on auction tomorrow. Okay. So this is the pricing. So for two cars, that's the price. For three, it's that. For one, it's that. Obviously, if you know how to shop, right, you choose the cheapest per unit. So you would go for that. I've got one report left on my account, so those are my reports. And then if I want one, I go. Oh, that's an old one. I forgot where I go. Okay, so you come here and then you say get report. So this is one that I did on my car, and then I got a refund. So if you see here, it basically said there's nothing much. Legal status, it looks good. Damage looks good. No issues or theft related. So it's not found as stolen. It wasn't stolen in the past. And then it checks across different countries. Then this pop-up came, which says, we'd notice that this report is not as informative as usual. And then they gave me an extra one, which is quite nice. Legally, there's nothing. It wasn't found as scrap. There's no damage left, right, and side. I'll just make this a bit bigger. Yeah, there was no damage that was noted. There were no, it wasn't an area of a natural disaster. And then it gives you the tech spec. So it's a VW 2023, it's manual, and then that's the engine code. Right. Then I'll show you another one of another car that I found. Right. So this report is still active. I still have access to it. So you've got 2 weeks. So if you're doing something like this, what you want to do is you want to maybe do it with a friend who's also looking, so that you guys can share the subscription. That's how I would think of it. So this is a BMW 118i 1 Series 2020 odometer, legal status, and then it's got some damage. We're going to find out what that is. Right, so there's no theft. It's not currently wanted, and it hasn't been stolen yet. It checks multiple European countries and Canada, which isn't really, helpful in the South African context, but at least it picks up damage in the South African context. I'm not sure if it picks up theft in the South African context as well. And then you've got the odometer, which is showing 17 kilometers straight from factory shop. So now it should be at about, it is at about 80, but typically it has been expected a bit lower for a 2023 model. That's what it's showing there. And then if I'm not sure if it's the one, then I can check more. Yeah, legal status, technical inspection, no. It wasn't found as scrap, no. Damage, this is quite interesting, right? So no damage on the left, no damage on the front, but damage at the rear and damage on the right. So damage at the rear isn't as expensive in my thinking, but damage on the right might speak to airbags, driver side airbags, and then front is the one that I would be hesitant to move forward with. So it's showing that in August 2020, there was an assessment for damage with a repair cost of between 40 and 50K. And then there was another record to the front. Oh, okay. There was damage to the front between 70 and 80K. And then there was also damage on the front for about 40 to 50K. It wasn't finished, so there was front damage as well. Oh, this is quite interesting. So it shows you the damage groups, so cooling and aircon, as well as exterior body parts. This one also cooling and aircon and exterior body. Oh. And then this one just says exterior. Oh, so this car went through it. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go find a live vehicle that's probably gonna be an auction tomorrow, and then we're gonna try and see if we can use that in this case. Okay, so I went to MFC auctions, then I went to shop now, then in-lane catalog for tomorrow, right? Because they're Wednesday auctions, right? So I click on that. and I think it was a VW that I liked. I think it was a 2020 VW, I want to say GTI. It wasn't a GP. Yes. Was it this one? No, it was red. No. Yes. So it's a 2020 VW Polo TSI Comfortline DSG, right? It's got 71,000 kilometers, so it's fairly fresh. And trade value is 244,000. So you like it, you click on it, right? Right. I'm just going to make the pictures a bit bigger so we can dig deep. So it's our line, right? I think pictures wise it looks pretty neat. It's been well kept. Manual 71,000, you can see that on the odometer. That's fine. Then you also want to have a look see at the DECRA, right? That's also where we're going to get the VIN number for the car vertical. So the color is red, 71,000, 2020. License expiry is still, you still have some time. It looks like there's a lot wrong, right? So they're saying you must repair the seats. Let me leave the repair and go to the replace. So the tire rod is damaged, the nut bolts in the front and the rear wheels, engine silencer, pipe welded, catalytic converter, body exterior, more body exterior, some engine. The bottom of the engine is fully covered. There's some warning lights, there's accident suspension, aftermarket exhaust system fitted. So the reason that I'm looking at this one, right, is because I saw this DECRA report a bit earlier today while I was at work. And I was like, this is an interesting one because you can clearly see a lot has happened, Clemodo. So now I want to check if Car Vertical picks up any accidents that sort of speak to the DECRA report, because they should align, right? Because it's the same car. Braking force is relatively fine. Emergency braking might need looking at. The tires are fine except the front one, but then the spare is still pretty okay. And then it's got some diagnostic status issue over there. And then it's got a bunch of pictures. You guys must tell me what I'm supposed to see here with the oil cap and whatnot. I want to be able to say something when I look at it. Because I always see the pictures, so I imagine it's important, but I never really understand what it's about. Then the car looks fresh in a sunroof. It looks fresh. Sorry about that. Okay, so you've got more tires, more information. There's the chassis, there's the engine. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you guys can go and self-help and look at this. I don't know what a catalytic converter is, but this looks pretty serious and expensive. Okay, so Sifuna is Sifuna even from here, so that we can take that and then put it in this. All right. Let me see. Where do I go to the bed? Okay. Okay. So that's wild. Okay. So it's gonna be AAV triple Z AWZ LU 096621. Okay, let's see. Let's see if the DECRA report speaks to any of these. So there's some damage, I guess, to the body across the board. It says on all body panels. The front, the fender, and the rides have some traces of repair, and then yeah, so let's see if this picks it up. All right, it's busy loading. It checks across different countries. Not sure how really valuable it's going to be, but I mean, I guess it can't hurt. Okay, it checks insurance databases across different countries to basically check if someone claimed for a certain accident or anything of that nature. I'm guessing that's where they get the accident data, which is quite helpful because an insurer would capture that very well, and that's why there's also like an amount linked to it. Cross source consistency, that's important. You don't want one company saying something and the other one saying something completely different. What we're actually doing is actually that, right? Cross source coherency to check if the DECRA report says something that's the same as what this report is saying. This is the last report I have, so yeah. Okay, so it looks good on the odometer, it looks good on legal status. It needs attention in terms of damage, right? It's not currently wanted or stolen. It wasn't stolen in the past. This last kilometer reading was 69,000 in March, and yeah, it looks pretty good. They started it off in 2021 at 14,500. And then legal status, yeah, it's never been in trouble and it hasn't been scrapped. No, there's a lot of damage. All right, so there's damage on the front, rear end, and on the right. So this makes sense, right? Because the DECRA was saying there was a lot of damage. So damage groups, so this is quite important. Damage groups are the braking system, the exterior body parts, external lighting, so your lights, gearbox and drivetrain, sounds expensive, steering, structural elements of the body, as well as suspension system. Hectic. Disclaimer, most damage records are related to accidents, but that's not always the case. Some records come from other sources like body shops, damage claims, auctions, or vehicle inspections. These records show that the vehicle's condition was assessed even if it wasn't due to an accident. I mean, I guess. It wasn't in an area with natural disasters. It's a VW 2020 petrol automatic. It's a DSG, so that makes sense. And then that's the engine code. Yeah, damage was detected in South Africa. We have indication that this vehicle is recognized as damaged in this particular country or state. Please refer to the damage section of it. Yeah, and that was the report. Yeah, I think I was pretty happy with that. I don't want to send feedback, but that was the report. I'm going to end the video here. I wanted to make it nice and short, basically to show you a practical example of what Car Vertical offers and to test it on a live DECRA equivalent for a car that is very relevant because it's essentially what you're going to be seeing in tomorrow's auction. Hope you guys are registered, at least just to watch if it's your first time, and check out all 3 of my videos. I talk about the auction from start to finish, literally from seeing it and getting it to getting my license plate changed and getting the car registered to my name. Thanks again for tuning in. Good night.